Hey guys, Mike here. So today I want to make a short video and talk a little bit about PC water cooling and is it still relevant in 2024? And absolutely, I think it's still relevant, and I think it's going to still be relevant for a long, long time. So let's talk a little bit about the pros and cons when it comes to PC water cooling. So some of the cons for me are definitely maintenance. I think maintenance can be a big pain in the butt. Also, when you fill it up and you do everything right, and then some strange reason bacteria grows in it and you have to drain it, and all that can be really frustrating. You could have leaks. Um, Hardware issues, if you're having some hardware issues, sometimes you have to break the whole entire thing down to diagnose that, and then your machine's down for God knows how long, especially if it's your main rig and you don't have another one. So those are some of the cons for me. Some of the things I really like about PC water cooling is the aesthetics, and that's one of the main reasons why I got into it. When I first saw a water-cooled PC, I've always been kind of a tech nerd. I was amazed that you could take something that really didn't look like anything and really make it look like a piece of art. You know, really explore that creative side of yourself and the engineering side of yourself. And that's what really kind of drew me to, water cooling PCs. So those are things that I really like. I like it that you could have almost a silent PC. You don't have to hear the fans running super loud. That was another major plus for me. But I think in this day and age now, air coolers, fans, they've come a long, long way. So one of the main reasons why I wanted to make this video today is, I was having some serious issues with K2. I don't know if you guys have seen that build. If you haven't, please go ahead and check it out. I did probably one of the best builds that I've ever done in Lanley's V3000 Plus case. The case was a monstrosity. It's like the biggest case I've ever worked in. It's 75 pounds empty, and it was probably like 130 pounds full of all the hardware that I put in it, and it takes two people to move it. And I did kind of overboard. I went with like three 480 millimeter radiators from Hardware Labs, two reservoirs, the whole works. Just go big or go home. So I started having problems with this machine about 6 months in. The thing started randomly turning off just out of the blue. So my immediate thought was it was the power supply. I mean, I was hoping it was the power supply because I didn't want to have to break this entire thing down and clean 100 tubes, 60 compression fittings, the whole 9 yards, and then have my main machine be down for God knows how long. So I got a new power supply, I put it in, it didn't work, didn't fix the issue. So then I'm like, okay, great. And then I started having random reboots along with the random shutoffs. So finally, I'm like, okay, I just had enough. I'm like, I'm gonna have to drain this entire thing, break it all down, and then, be without my main machine, which I really need on a daily basis. So I broke it all down, I took the CPU out, and I noticed on the ASRock X670E motherboard, the pins were bent. There was like 4 pins that were bent over on the socket. How that happened, I really have no idea. The machine was running fine for a long time. And then I also found out that 32 out of the 64 gigs of the Kingston Fury RAM that I had was bad. So I RMA'd all that, sent it all back in. I was having some issues getting a new motherboard, so I ended up purchasing an ASRock Taichi X870E motherboard. Now I know there's not some huge differences between the two. I mean, you can get higher RAM speeds, clock speeds, but the price was around the same, from what I paid for the X670E ASRock Taichi. So I'm like, what, I'm just gonna get the new motherboard. One thing I will say about the X670E, the new Taichi, is I really like the toolless M.2 slots, and makes putting them, NVMe drives in really simple, and I don't have to get that little screwdriver out. So that's really, really nice. So as I'm putting this thing back, I'm thinking to myself, do I really want to water cool again? Because if I have any issues again, then I'm going to go through this whole process again, and it's really, really frustrating. So I decided I wasn't going to. I was going to go ahead and I was going to air cool this beast. So I decided for the CPU, I was going to go with Noctua's new G2 cooler. Super big, but I absolutely love it. Gamers Nexus did a phenomenal in-depth review on this cooler. Tested every single thing. It beat a lot of AIOs. I really think it's one of the best air coolers on the market. A little pricey. I got it off of Amazon for $149, but it's definitely worth it. I just wish it was in black, Noctua, so hope you come out with a black variant. So I'm very happy with that. My 79 50 X3D idles now between 45 and 50 Celsius. Um, doesn't get really above 70 when I'm really kind of working the CPU, and it's really really quiet. So if you know me and watch my videos, having a quiet PC is a big thing for me. So I was very pleased that it doesn't sound like a jet engine. I put the old block back on the 7900 XTX. I set my fan curve pretty high. Does that get slightly loud when I do some hardcore gaming? It does, but not enough to have the wife yell at me that my computer sounds like a jet engine. So overall, I'm very happy. Air cooling K2 now. I was worried about the noise issues and the temperature issues, but they seem more than fine. So really, in this day and age, you could really air cool a PC and really have great temps, even with the higher end CPUs and GPUs. And not have it sound like a jet engine, which I think is really, really great. Now, what I did do when I put the block back on the 7900 XTX, I did put new thermal pads on. I did put new thermal paste back on, because I do know that some people, when they buy these new GPUs, they have high temps, and I think anytime that you do, it's always a good idea to take it apart. If you're comfortable doing that and reapplying thermal paste and maybe putting some different thermal pads on, because I hear some people say that their 7900 XTX is hitting like 90 Celsius at full load, and that shouldn't be normal, because mine doesn't even get close to that when I run it. So definitely, if you run into those issues, definitely take that thing apart, and I would reapply everything and put it back together. But so I think what I'm going to do is take a step back from PC water cooling for a bit. I'm still going to build them for other people because I still enjoy it, but I just don't enjoy all the hassles that come along with it. And I've been doing it for a long time, for 20 years. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, PC water cooling is still going to be relevant. It's always going to be relevant, but prices have also gone up quite a bit. Just for K2 alone, I ended up probably spending $2,000 to $3,000, in water cooling stuff. Now, like I said before, I went over the top. I could have just got one rad. I could have, just did one reservoir. But I mean, obviously, I got the Landley V3000 plus gates, and I wanted to pack it full. But yeah, it's gotten a little expensive. EKWB, excuse me, prices have gone way, way up. Now a water block over there is anywhere from $250 to $350. I didn't buy the water block that was in K2. I got one from Aqua Tuning for like $140 for half the cost. And to be honest with you guys, I think the quality was even a little bit better than EKWB. I feel like their quality has gone down a lot over the years. And what you get for the amount of money, I hate to say it, but I think it's a little ridiculous. I think the prices are way too high. So you always got to factor in the cost. I mean, if I decided to air cool K2 from the beginning, it would have just cost me $150 instead of an additional $2,700. So, but I still think it's a great thing. I still think it's an awesome thing to test out your engineering skills, to bring out your creativity. I love watching videos of different builds and different designs. It's something that I'll always really love to do. So, but that's all I really got for today, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please post comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys. It's been a while. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.